and welfare of our country. Honourable members, we obviously do not have the numbers required, so I therefore order the bell to be rung for 10 minutes.
A lack of quorum in the National Assembly this Wednesday morning. A minimum 50 members required in order for business to be transacted, and that is according to the rules of the House as enshrined in the standing orders, specifically Standing Order 34. And currently we have the quorum bell ringing as ordered by the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Moses Cheboy. And once we do attain that quorum, the members shall proceed to consider a number of issues as listed on the order paper this Wednesday morning. The Wednesday morning sitting traditionally reserved for members' bills and motions, private members' bills and motions, and lined up this morning are 5 new bills that we expect to be introduced in the House alongside normal debate. But before that, there is a petition that is expected on the status of Bosto Dam water supply project in Bomet and Kericho counties. This one is a petition that will be fronted to the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning. It will be presented by the Honorable Wilson Susion, nominated Member of Parliament, on behalf of the concerned residents of Bomet and Kericho counties, and we shall be looking forward to hear what exactly are these concerns. Question time, also listed in the order paper this morning. A number of members have several questions to different cabinet secretaries, questions that will be answered through the relevant House committees. One of those questions is from the Starehe Member of Parliament, Honorable Charles Njagwa, directed to the Cabinet Secretary, Sports, Culture and Arts. And he wants the Cabinet Secretary to consider establishing programs under the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund to support creative and performing artists to make regular contributions that will provide social protection for artists upon exit from active performances, and also include government subsidies as part of such programs. He also wants the Cabinet Secretary to consider facilitating training and capacity building programs for persons involved in creative and performing arts, and to advise those artists on investments, opportunities, and also how to manage wealth. Mwatate Member of Parliament, Honorable Andrew Mwadime, has a question for the Cabinet Secretary, Wildlife and Tourism. It will be answered through the Departmental Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, and it speaks to circumstances under which the recent demolitions of residential houses at Maungu area in Taita Taveta County by the Kenya Wildlife Service were undertaken. And he is pointing out that the houses provided dwelling for over 1,000 households, families that have lived in the area for over 20 years. He also seeks to know what assistance the KWS has extended to affected households and families following those demolitions. The sergeant at arms are taking count as members make their way into the chamber. And of course, we have members of the House leadership also within presence of Parliament, rallying members, those who may be just outside the chambers to come in and participate. It is really their sitting, a platform through which they get to legislate on a number of issues. And so we shall continue just having a scan at the order paper pending before the House is a vote on the Employment Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 79 of the year 2019. It is one that is sponsored by nominated Member of Parliament Honorable Gideon Keter, and it seeks to amend Section 9 of the Employment Act in order to mandate an employer to carry out background checks on prospective employees upon granting an offer of employment. And it notes that many of the unemployed consist of persons below the age of 35, and therefore they are unable to afford clearance certificates required by employers for purposes of securing employment. And it is necessary for employers to require an applicant to submit these mandatory requirements. And so essentially, should the House approve this particular bill, then it shall provide a reprieve for job seekers. Members have already ventilated on this matter, and this morning they shall be deciding whether it will proceed to a committee of the whole House for amendments. Also pending is a report, or rather a motion on a report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of the year 2019, sponsored by Suba North Member of Parliament Honorable Millie Odhiambo Mabona. And there is a specific clause to that bill that will be amended in a committee of the whole House before members can then decide on its fate, whether it shall be proceeding to the third reading and thereafter to the President for assent. The Pensions Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 26 of the year 2020, sponsored by Kimilili Member of Parliament Honorable Didmas Baraza, is also one that is awaiting input from members. It will be continuation of debate, and it seeks to amend the Pensions Act, Cap 189, to provide a timeline within which pension shall be payable to officers. And the purpose is to remedy delays in payment of pension after the pensioner has qualified. "40 minutes past the hour, the quorum bell is still ringing. It will continue to do so for 10 minutes as ordered by the Deputy Speaker. And if no quorum is present at the expiration of that 10 minutes, then the Honorable Moses Cheboy, who is presiding over this morning's sitting, has the discretion to order for the bell to be rung for a further 5 minutes, as spelled out in the standing orders, 34 to be exact. And if there is still no quorum present, noting that it is 50 members who are required to constitute a quorum, then he shall be at liberty to adjourn the House to the next sitting. And this next sitting, according to the National Assembly's calendar, is this afternoon. However, if those numbers are achieved, then it will be quite a busy morning for members, considering the number of issues that are pending and that require their input. And of course, noting that they are winding up the year, specifically this 5th session of the 12th Parliament, as they look forward to the State of the Nation address, which will be delivered in the National Assembly next Tuesday, the 30th November, by His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, as communicated by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi, the Honorable Justin Muturi, yesterday afternoon. These same members also belong to House committees, and probably they are engaged in that business of oversight, just looking into various issues raised by the public, even as they await to consider bills and motions before the House. One of those interesting ones is the Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 70 of the year 2019, sponsored by the Honorable Silvana Sosoro, Member of Parliament, South Mugirango, and it seeks to amend the Alcoholic Drinks Control Act number 4 of the year 2010 and empower the Cabinet Secretary to prescribe the hours within which electronic advertisement of alcoholic drinks shall be done. And the argument by the Honorable Osoro is that it will reduce exposure to
children. The bell be rung for a further 5 minutes, and then we will progress.
As earlier indicated, the House is still short of the requisite numbers. Therefore, that quorum bell will continue ringing for another 5 minutes. And to quote the Standing Order 34, that if after the 5 minutes there is still no quorum present, the Speaker shall adjourn the House forthwith to the next sitting. Before that, directive by the Speaker was speaking about the Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill that seeks to stipulate hours within which electronic advertisements of alcoholic drinks shall be done. And the Honorable Silvanas Osoro Onyego, Member of Parliament, South Mugirango, the sponsor of this bill, is seeking to protect minors and other vulnerable persons in the community, such as recovering alcoholics, of unsuitable content on alcohol consumption. And members shall be making amendments to that particular bill. Another bill that is awaiting amendment is the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of the year 2020, that seeks to regulation of the insurance sector, sponsored by the Honorable Abdul Rahim Dawood. And that alongside other private members' bills, whose debate is yet to begin. The orderlies keeping tabs. As you can see on your screen, in the hope that those numbers will be attained this morning. And of course, noting that members are literally burning the midnight oil. Yesterday, they had sessions until 9 p.m., during which they considered a number of issues, including the Radiographers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 47 of the year 2019, that is headed to the Committee of the Whole House for amendments. There was also a report of the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security. It considered a public petition by residents of Wajir and Garissa counties regarding lack of access to citizen registration services. There was also consideration of a report of the Public Investments Committee that analyzed a special audit report on utilization of COVID-19 funds by the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority. That was also dispensed with. And then there was debate on the Provident Fund repeal, National Assembly Bill number 30 of the year 2021, that was brought to the House by the leader of Majority Party, the Honorable Amos Kimunya. The quorum bell still ringing. Members within the chambers consulting as they await the arrival of their colleagues. By the look of things, only a few, really, maybe one or two. And then business can commence this morning. The clock's still ticking with about 2 minutes to go before the expiration of the additional 5 minutes that was ordered by the Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Moses Cheboy. Remember, you can follow these proceedings live on YouTube. That is, if you're in a position or you're in a place where you cannot access or have no access to a television set, but have a mobile phone or computer or other device, you can follow this live broadcast on YouTube. It is also available on Bunge TV on Signet. My colleague Tilio Marco is doing the commentary on KBC Radio Taifa. In Kiswahili, you can follow proceedings there as well. And get to hear, watch what legislators are discussing or dealing with in the House this morning. As earlier mentioned, there is also a session reserved for questions from members, and I'll just recap a few of them. For instance, Lamu County Member of Parliament, Honorable Rueda Obo, has a question for the Cabinet Secretary, Tourism and Wildlife, on the status report on incidences of invasion by livestock in Shela area of Lamu County and what steps the ministry is taking to protect residents from invasions by hippos and lions. It will be handled by the Departmental Committee on Environment and Natural Resources. Then the Honorable Kabinga Washira, Member of Parliament, Mwea constituency, has a question for the Cabinet Secretary, Energy. Actually, a number of questions, top of which is provision of implementation status report for the last mile connectivity program in Mwea constituency for the financial years 2017-2018, 2018-2019, 2019-2020, and 2020-2021. And he also wants to know...
Take your seats, members. We therefore will begin business.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages.
Okay, before we... Well, I think we'll proceed. Let's proceed. Just proceed.
Order number 4, petitions.
Honorable Sosion. And members are encouraged not to leave chamber, at least for the next few minutes, because we will need to also still transact some very serious business. Honorable Sosion. Maybe go to the next one.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to present a public petition on the status of Bosta Water Dam Supply Project in Bomet and Kericho counties. I, the undersigned, on behalf of the concerned residents of Bomet and Kericho County, draw the attention of the House to the following. 1, that the proposed Bosta Dam Water Supply Project, which was to be rolled out by the National Water Harvesting and Storage Authority and supported by the Government of Kenya under contract number NWC/RT/005/2016-2017 and implemented through financing, design and building model to supply 705,857 people of Bomet Town, Sotik Town, and rural areas in 5 constituencies, namely Konoin, Bomet Central, Sotik, Chebalungu, and parts of Burete Sub-County in Kericho County, an area covering 1,050 kilometers squared with clean drinking water has told. 2, that though the region has in the recent past had improved access to water for the population, most of the water supply systems in the two counties are small, old, and unsustainable. 3, that the proposed project was designed and strategically positioned to supply water purely by gravity, and hence was considered economical in construction, sustainable in operation and maintenance, and would provide affordable, safe water to communities downstream. 4, that the dam was to be located along Kipsonoi River at the southwestern Mau Forest, where technical functionality for the project was considered highly feasible, sited at 19 kilometers from the forest edge and with good reservoir integrity for conserving water, and then gravitating to the treatment works located outside the forest, where clean water would then be gravitated to the wider supply area downstream. 5, that the main objective of the project was to supply potable water and replace bump-fed water service schemes that are not sustainable due to high cost of electricity, and that the project would include a mini hydropower generation plant. 6, that the project components included a 40-meter rock-filled dam embankment with an embankment crest length of 300 meters, a reservoir storage capacity of 18.3 cubic meters, water treatment plant with a capacity of 80,300 cubic meters per day, 1 megawatts hydro power substation, raw water main pipeline with a diameter of 900 millimeters extending 19 kilometers, 210 kilometers transmission and distribution pipe, 30 storage tanks with 29,050 cubic meter total capacity, with an estimated project construction cost of Kenya shilling 20 billion. 7, that visibility studies were undertaken and completed in March 2016, and NEMA licensing environment and social impact assessment of the project was completed in July, and a NEMA license number NEMA/EIA/PSL/5292 issued. 8, that Honorable Speaker, a commercial contract agreement was signed on 3rd August 2017, and thereafter a supervision consultant agreement signed. 9, that Honorable Speaker, a buyer loan credit agreement was signed on 4th September 2018, and thereafter notice to effectuation of loan was effected on 24th September 2019, where 85% Exim Bank funding was effected. 10, that 15% counterpart funding from the government of Kenya is still pending, while the insurance premiums were already paid to China Export and Credit Insurance Corporation, and a performance and advance payment guarantee submitted by the contractor on 29 July 2019, but who is yet to be paid. 11, Honorable Speaker, that an operation plan agreement was drafted jointly by NWHSA and Bomet County Government, but the draft plan could not be implemented owing to a change of position by the Kenya Forest Service, which refused to approve the site after initially and on record approving it. 12, that Honorable Speaker, the Attorney General issued an undertaking committing the government of Kenya to the project. 13, that Honorable Speaker, the project is executed on the platform of financing, designing and constructing model with due procurement processes duly adhered to, in line with Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Act 2015, where contract was eventually awarded to MS China Geoengineering Corporation International Limited with the loan becoming effective from September 2019, with a plan to have it executed and completed in 3 years. 14, that Honorable Speaker, the delayed payment of 15% counterpart funding equivalent to 3.06 billion, and the refusal by the Kenya Forest Services to approve access to the dam site number 1, which according to feasibility studies shows it is technically viable and has all necessary dam functionalities, has exposed the government of Kenya to default and straining relations with our country's relations with the People's Republic of China. 15th, that Honorable Speaker, efforts to address this matter with relevant authorities have borne no fruit. 16th, that Honorable Speaker, the issue in respect of which the petition is made are not pending before any court or any other constitutional or legal body. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, your humble petitioners pray that the National Assembly, through the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, 1, investigates why the proposed Boster Dam water supply project executed by the National Water Harvesting and Storage Authority under contract number NWC/RT/005/2016 to 2017 and implemented through financing, design, and build model to supply 705,857 people of Bomet Town, Sotik Town, and rural areas in 5 constituencies, namely Konoin, Bomet Central, Sotik, Chebalung, and parts of Bureti Sub-County in Kericho County, which area covers 1,050 kilometers squared with clean drinking water, has not been realized. 2, investigate the circumstances under which the government of Kenya committed to a contract on a platform of financing, designing, and constructing a model where the procurement process was duly completed and a contract awarded to MS China Geoengineering Corporation International Limited, with the loan becoming effective from September 2019 and a plan to have it executed and completed in 3 years, which has since stopped. 3, make any other recommendation that it deems fit in the circumstances of the petition, and your petitioners will ever pray. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Signed by myself on behalf of petitioners. Thank you.
Very well. I do not see a lot of members interested in making any additions to that. So probably we'll go to the next order. Next order. That one, of course, will be committed. The petition will be committed to the relevant committee, and it will be dealt with there.
Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
On this particular one, we have both the questions. We'll start with the question segment, and we'll go to the next one. But before we do that, I want to state that the following questions will not be asked, actually will be deferred. One is the question number 491 by the Honorable Joseph Tanui, member for Kuresoi South, will be deferred. Second is the question by question number 493 of 2021 by the Honorable Captain Rueda Abo will also be deferred to another day because she's attending committee work in Mombasa. We will also not have the question by the Honorable Kabinga Washira. Question number 495 of 2021 will also be deferred. So also is the question by the member for Mwatate, the Honorable Andrew Mwadime, also deferred. So then we will go to the questions, starting with the one by the Honorable Charles Jagwa, member for Starehe.
Thank you, Speaker. I raise to ask question 395 of 2021 to the Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Culture and the Arts. 1. Could the Cabinet Secretary consider establishing programs under the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund to support creative and performing artists to make regular contributions that would provide social protection for the artists upon exit from active performances, and also include government subsidies as part of such programs. 2, could the Cabinet Secretary also facilitate training and capacity building programs for persons involved in creative and performing arts to advise artists on investment and wealth management? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. That question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Sports, Culture and Tourism. So we go to the member for Tharaka-Nithi, the Honorable Beatrice Nkatha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question is 462 of 2021, and it's directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Transport, Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. Roman 1. When will the National Land Commission pay the agreed compensation to persons who are relocated or affected in 2013 to pave way for the constructions of the Kionyo-Chogoria Loop Road in Chogoria sublocation in Mara sub-county? Roman 2. When will Mr. Ireri Mtwararia of identification number 2490811 be compensated for the plot number Kabeshe Market 19A, which was affected by the construction of the said project? Roman 3. Considering the inflation rate from the time the project affected persons were expecting to be compensated, could the Cabinet Secretary consider enhancing the previous valuations to reflect the current value of the land? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That one will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing. Next is the member for Njoro, Honorable Kadhambi.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to ask my question, which is question number 491, 2021. And my question, Mr. Speaker, is directed to the CS Interior, and the first number, Roman, is, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the status of investigations into the increased insecurity incidences in Ijoro constituency, if any? Number 2, could the Cabinet Secretary state the measures in place to curb insecurity experienced in the area in the months of August, September, October 2021, which led to loss of lives and property, human injuries, and inflicted general fear in the society? Could the Cabinet Secretary consider demarcating locations and sublocations in the insecurity-prone areas of Joro constituency for efficient and quick coordination of security services? And lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, Roman 4, when will the ministry facilitate security personnel in Mount Narok, Mauche, Naiswet police stations in Njoro constituency with the vehicles and other equipment for the purpose of rapid and timely responses when they are called to respond to emergency situations? Mr. Speaker, sir, if you can allow me just to comment why I raise these questions. Mr. Speaker, I've requested for even vehicles for my police security in my constituency for so long. I have never gotten one. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
I will not have allowed you to, members must strictly leave to the questions they've asked, and actually you will be advised that all those issues that you have, you go and raise it at the committee. And this one will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security. So members, despite the fact that some of the issues, of course, like the one raised by the Honorable Kadhambi, are really serious, but since it has been committed to a committee, you can take all those details to that particular committee. Okay, so then we go to the last one by the Honorable Engineer Vincent Musyoka, member for Mwala.
Hawaii is the name. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask question number 504/2021 on the order paper to the Cabinet Secretary for Transport, Infrastructure, Housing, Urban Development and Public Works. 1. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain why Kivandini, Biuni, Miseleni, Tala Road in Mwala constituency is yet to be upgraded to bitumen standards despite the approval for its upgrade having been made in 2016? 2. Could the Cabinet Secretary indicate measures that the ministry has put in place to upgrade to bitumen standards the inter-county Wamunyu-Kalawa Road, which is in deplorable state? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. That one will be referred to the departmental, it will be answered to before, will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing. Order members, there is a member going out. Please, you must not go out because we would require your number now for purposes of putting a question. So please take your seat, please. Just for a few more minutes, please. All members, and I see the member for Marsabit. I've just made a comment that she's already walking out. Please just take your seat. Take your seat for a few more minutes. Okay, next order.
Order number 8, the Employment Amendment number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 79 of 2019, second reading. Question to be put.
I'll wait for that member to walk in, then put the question. Take your seat. Okay. Order, members. So then I proceed to put the question, which is that this House do agree with the report. Sorry. I put the question, which is that the Employment Amendment number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 79 of 2019, be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. And as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an Act of Parliament to amend the Employment Act. Order number 9, motion, report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2019.
Just a minute, honorable members. I want to consult on this particular one. Order, members. Order, members. So, honorable members, I put the question, which is that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House in its consideration of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2019, and seek leave to sit again today. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order. Next order.
Order number 10, the Penal Code Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2021, first reading. A bill for an Act of Parliament to amend the Penal Code Cap 63 and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 11, the Copyright Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2021, first reading. A bill for an Act of Parliament to amend the Copyright Act and for connected purposes. Order number 12, the Penal Code Amendment number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 47 of 2021, first reading. A bill for an Act of Parliament to amend the Penal Code.
Next order.
Order number 13, the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 48 of 2021, first reading. a bill for an act of parliament to amend the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Act. Order number 14, the Whistleblower Bill, National Assembly Bill number 50 of 2021, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the procedure for the disclosure of information relating to improper conduct in the public and private sectors, to provide for the protection of persons who make such disclosure against victimization and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 15, Committee of the Whole House.
Order, members. We are now resuming the Committee of the Whole on the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2019. So, honorable members, will resume from clause 28.
Clause 28A.
Right? The new clause 28A.
New clause 28A.
I propose the question which is at new clause 28 be now read a second time. First of all, please, the mover, move second reading of the new clause before we progress.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to move that new clause 28 be now read a second time. That every person has the right to access the highest standard of quality of attainable and cost-effective assisted technology, reproductive technology services. Assisted reproductive services shall be provided by qualified expert licensed by the Directorate. An assisted reproductive technology expert shall, before providing assisted reproductive technology service, provide for information necessary to assist in the making of an informed decision to all parties concerned, and in particular information concerning the various assisted reproductive technology methods available, chances of access for various assisted reproductive technology methods.
I think you are, why are you doing it in that manner? I think you are taking
So, I would say as in the order paper.
Yeah, that would even be better.
Okay.
What is it, the Honorable Millie Adhiambo? Because I should have thought, since you are moving, you move it as per the order paper and then you proceed to give us the justification why you want it there. So what is it, Honorable Millie?
Chair, I just request that, like we did last time, to enable us move faster.
What did you say?
I say that I agree with what you are saying, but I request that to enable us move faster, the way we did last week, if we could get the hard copies. So otherwise, then we may have to be reading to bring us to speed, but otherwise, if we have the order paper, it will help us.
Whom are you requesting the hard copy for? Is it yourself and the mover, or the rest of the membership? Because it actually is not, we are trying to reduce that, and you are aware, especially with the new situation.
But yes, it becomes very difficult at the committee of the whole house to move without the hard copy.
Well, let's proceed anyway, briefly. The rest of the members who will have, that's fine. Those who don't have, you'll have to get the justification from the mover. Proceed, Honorable Dr. Nyikal.
Chair, I beg to move that new clause 28 now be read a second time, as in the order paper. And, Mr. Speaker, the justification for this and others that will come, that in life, the sex issue is not always clear. There are some people that are born and the sex is not clearly determined. They can be intersex, some may have both male and female, and as this thing is defined, those people will be excluded, whichever child's side of the choice, the sex they choose to be, if they want to have assisted reproductive technology.
Okay, and Honorable Dr. Nyikal, if we move that way, we will take a lot of time. So I would like brief, explanation.
It will be much faster.
Very brief. So then I propose a question which is that new clause 28A be now read a second time. Honorable Millie Odhiambo and Honorable Dawood, in brief, and then we progress.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think this is a very progressive amendment, and it's progressive, Mr. Speaker, because it provides for the highest sustainable standard of assisted healthcare, and it also seeks to ensure that it's easily accessible in the rural areas. And Chair, I think for the sake of many people, sometimes they don't understand what intersex is. An intersex is a person born with the two organs, both male and female, and so it's not what Kenyans sometimes are eternally scared of, but that we must take care of their needs in assisted reproductive health care.
Okay,
so I support.
Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Chair. I support as well, but with a few cautions that we should be very careful when we are doing this reproductive technology, where you are not able to choose the sex of the child or to do genetic modeling, because that will take us to monsters who will be created. So, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Okay. So then I put the question, which is that new clause 28.
knows the laws and there are no changes. That is the import of this.
Okay. So then I propose a question that A be now read a second time. Yes, Honorable Millie.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I wish to support this. Chair, this is a matter that has even gone before the High Court and was litigated, and the court requested that the Parliament passes a law to help assist in cases where there are disputes in surrogacy. So the committee has brought very, very clear amendments guiding how surrogacy is done and requiring agreements, and also very clear about what happens to the child, so the child is not left in limbo. Thank you. I support.
Very well. So then I put the question, which is that new clause 32A be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? And as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I propose a question, which is that new clause 32A be part of the bill. I put the question, which is that new clause 32A be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? And as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 32B.
Mover.
Chair, I move that new clause 32B be now read a second time. Again, Chair, the issue here is the issue of surrogacy, and therefore there are parents who commission surrogacy, who ask for it, and therefore after the baby is being born, and in cases where there are even twin multiple pregnancy, the law will apply to all those babies that come under that agreement, and that is what this provides for, to protect the parents and in commissioning situations, and to protect the babies that are born out of that commissioning. Thank you.
Okay, so then I propose a question, which is at new clause 32B be now read a second time. I put the question, which is that new clause 32B be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? And as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I propose a question, which is that new clause 32B be part of the bill. I put the question, which is that the new clause 32B be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? And as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 32C.
Let's have the mover.
Chair, I wish to move that new clause 32C now be read a second time. And Chair, this is again in the same issue of surrogacy, and when surrogacy comes, the commissioning of surrogacy, the sex of the baby is important, and people may be tempted that that's not the sex of the baby I wanted, and therefore now I can terminate that. This is going to protect those babies, so that once you have entered into it, you get what you asked for. Thank you, Chair.
So then I propose a question, which is that the new clause 32C be now read a second time. I put the question, which is that new clause 32C be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? And as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I propose a question, which is that new clause 32C be part of the bill. And I put the question, which is that new clause 32C be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The aye has it.
New clause 32D.
I ask the mover to move.
Chair, I wish to move that new clause 32D be now read a second time. Again, Chair, this is an issue of where there's commissioning on surrogacy, and now there may be issues may arise where people want to manipulate the gametes at the early stages to determine sex. That should not be allowed. Or when they may want, where you have zygotes or the earlier embryos that are not used, they may want to sell them. That is prohibited, so that the commissioning is confined to just the particular embryo that is involved.
Very well. So then I propose a question, which is that new clause 32 32D be now read a second time. Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Chair, I wish to support that because it outlaws sex selection and also to prohibit what I think Honorable Member Dawood was worried about, that people can try to create a pure human race. So that is actually outlawed. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with Honorable Millie, and I support this one. This is what I was talking about. We don't want designer babies in this country. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. So then I put the question, which is that new clause 32D be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I propose a question, which is that new clause 32D be part of the bill. I put the question, which is that new clause 32D be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Schedule.
I propose a question, which is that the schedule be the schedule to the bill. I put the question, which is that the schedule be the schedule to the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. What?
Deletion.
Other honorable members, let's confirm whether that is. Just remove it. So what is a deletion? But I think we removed it and cast it. What is it that you want? Why are you okay. All right. Then we have a proposed amendment by way of deletion. So who is the mover? Is the mover the Honorable?
Then if the chair will.
Whenever you want us to consult, you must remove that tonight. You must. Otherwise, don't say anything you don't know. So it is Shamala is proposing a deletion. Now, there are two proposals for deletion. One by the committee, so hopefully by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal, and the other by the Honorable Shamala. If the one by the Honorable, the committee is carried, then it obviously means there is nothing for Honorable Shamala to do. It will have been deleted anyway. So are you ready with that, the Honorable Dr. Nyikal?
Chair, the purpose of that deletion is that we had an authority, and since now that does not exist, we therefore don't need it. That is the meaning of that, Chair.
Okay. So then I propose a question, which is that the schedule be deleted as proposed by the Honorable Nyikal. And the first person I'll give an opportunity is obviously Honorable Shamala, because then if this is taken, then we probably will not have you saying anything to it. So it's rather you go on record on something.
Yes, that's true, Chair. If indeed the directorate has been deleted and the schedule refers to a directorate, then that schedule cannot continue as it is, or to be in the bill as it is.
Okay. So then I put the question, which is that the schedule be deleted. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I propose a question, which is that clause 2 be part of the bill. Honorable members, to make the progress tidy here, we have two parts. One which is on definitions and which definition amendments, and the part B, new definitions, which is we have two proposals by the chair of the committee and Honorable Shamala. Now we will start with part A, so that we are able to go, and we will on part A we'll be going in a point. I mean, we'll be going on the specifics. We have A, we have and others. So let's start with part A on authority, which we have proposed amendments. Is it from the committee?
Chair, again, as we said, I propose that the clause 2 be amended as in the order paper, and A, again, we are deleting the definition of authority simply because it doesn't exist anymore. Okay. We have deleted it. And B, it cleans the definition of assisted reproductive technology, which means fertilization in a laboratory. This process sperm grows to have been obtained in an ovary, whether or not the process is completed in the laboratory dish, which means that it can be started in the laboratory, in the dish in the lab, but again there is transfer into the womb, so that definition, it still covers all that. And C, by the definition of COPUB,
what's your point of order? Billy Odhiambo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm just wondering if the committee moves in that direction, whether it will not be confusing, because I know, for instance, that there are different amendments, like I know that Honorable Shamala has a proposed amendment to couple, and the committee has. So when you do, if he moves all the A, B, C, D together, then it might be confusing. So perhaps the way you had started, Chair, might be better if you go A, B.
What is your suggestion?
My suggestion is just that we move the way you had started by going A, we delete.
That's actually what we are progressing on.
No, it's actually moved to BCA.
Well, I do not know what the hurry of the Daktari is. We need to do this operation meticulously, so we can go organ by organ. Not organ by organ, it's specific. A, B, and C, that would be better and tidier.
Precisely anatomically. That's what you Okay. A, by deleting the definition of authority, because the authority has actually been removed from the bill.
Okay, so then I propose a question, which is that the definition on authority be amended as proposed by Honorable Dr. Nyikal. I put the question, which is that the definition be amended, definition of authority be amended as proposed by the Honorable Nyikal. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Then we go next to the one on assisted reproductive technology, which is B.
Chair, I propose that the...
What is it, the Honorable Jennifer Shamala?
Chair, I'm just seeking a clarification from you. We have, I also had a proposed amendment on couple. Does that mean that my proposed amendment has fallen?
It has the same effect.
It has the same effect.
Same effect, but there is the one on couple, sorry. The one on couple, yes. You will have your say. We have not reached there. We are now at the assisted reproductive technology. Then next will be the one on couple.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, so we are okay.
So, Chair, I propose that the clause 2 be amended as in the order paper under B by deleting definition of assisted reproductive technology and substitute therefore with what is in the order paper. The import of this, Chair, is that this may start outside the womb and then into the womb to actually have the final product. But even that process outside the womb must be controlled in the same way as what is as if it will be implemented or has been implemented, so that any effort starting earlier is also regulated similarly. That's the import of that definition.
Okay. So then I propose a question, which is that the definition, specifically the assisted reproductive technology, be amended as proposed by the Honorable Nyikal. I put the question, which is that definitions of assisted reproductive technology be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Then we go to the next one, which is the one on couple. Unfortunately for you, Honorable Shamala, again, the chairperson to the committee seems to have an amendment, which if it happens, then it takes care of your interest. So let's start with the chair of the committee, but I'll allow you to say something to it. Honorable Nyikal.
Chair, I propose that the clause 2 be amended as in the other paper and under C, and I think this is extremely important. And what it means, that a couple means male and female who are in association, notwithstanding whether such association may be recognized as a marriage under any law in Kenya. What that means, a male and a female can desire to be assisted to have a reproductive. It matters not whether they are married or not married as by Kenyan laws. That is what it is.
Okay. So then I propose a question, which is that definition of couple be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal. Honorable Shamala, something on it?
Yes, Chair. I wish to first state that how I so wish that this specific Committee on Health had invited Honorable Zuleika Hassan and myself to their committee, because our amendments had been filed up to 3-4 months ago, and it would have saved the committee and the House a lot of time if we would have been able to synchronize these amendments. They'd been tabled several months ago, and with those few remarks, I do support.
Okay, so then I put the question, which is that definition of couple be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? And as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. So let's go to definition of director.
I propose that the definition of the director deleted, because as we had earlier said, the structure has changed, so the position does not exist, so we don't need to define it.
Okay, so I propose a question, which is a definition of director be amended as proposed by the Honorable Nyikal. I put the question, which is that the definition of director be amended as proposed by Honorable Nyikal. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Then let's go to the definition of donor, and we have from proposed amendment from Zuleika. Let's have Honorable Shamala.
For the proposed amendment for Honorable Zuleika, if somebody could assist me. Chair, Madam Chair, is the proposed I don't know is the proposed amendment there so that I may be able to move it? Sorry? 1521. Page 1521. I don't. 24. 23. Chair, may I? Yes.
Honorable Shamala is on the floor, and we have a point of order by Honorable Millie Odhiambo. Millie.
Chair, I'm just, as a matter of order, if you notice, Honorable Zuleiha's amendment is seeking to amend the definition of donor and also to definition of father in the same clause. The committee has also a proposed amendment on father, and the amendment by the committee takes precedence. So my proposal in the circumstances is that we deal with Honorable Zuleiha's amendment of donor separately, and then when it comes to father, then we deal with the one of Honorable Nyikal separately, because the one of the committee takes precedence in terms of procedure. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Emilio Adhiambo, what you are suggesting is exactly what we are doing. Yes, so I think your comment has been, it's a concern of the House, and very well. Yes, Honorable Zuleika, not Zuleika, Honorable Shamala.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The proposed amendment seeks to amend clause 2 of the bill by stating that in the definition of the word donor, by deleting the words "and the person need not be the spouse of the person she or he is donating the gametes to," and by deleting the definition of the word father and substituting therefore the following new definition. Okay. We're just moving clause 2A.
Yes, we are on clause 2A. Honorable Millie, you've been the... Give it to Honorable Millie. Sir. Oh, okay.
Again, I'm seeking clarification from you. I don't think I have seen on the order paper a notice from the committee to move or is it the one we have just addressed?
Then allow me propose a question first, Honorable Shamala. I proposed a question, which is that clause 2 on definition of the donor be amended as proposed. I open the House for the floor. Honorable Millie.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I wish to oppose that amendment. And the reason I'm opposing that amendment, Chair, is assisted reproduction is supposed to assist, where either the man is not able biologically to produce or the woman is not. And in our cultural practices, even amongst the Luos and Kisis and others, where a man was not able to sire a child, the brothers would help. So we are actually doing it through technology, without your brother sleeping with your wife, but donating the sperm. But when you say the person must be the husband, if the husband has a problem and cannot produce the sperms, where do you then, how does he then donate sperms which he doesn't have? It beats the very purpose of assisted reproduction. So on this definition, Chair, I oppose.
Honorable Millie, you're on the floor opposing. Let me have Honorable Nyikal.
Chair, I also oppose this. Basically what we are saying, when we are having infertility in a couple, the infertility can arise from the inability of the female either to ovulate or conceive, and we are assisting them. Infertility can also arise from the male when their sperms are not healthy enough or they do not produce. If we insist on this, then these couples who will require that assistance, particularly for the man, will not be. And we cannot, it will be actually discriminatory, because on the other hand, we have accepted surrogacy, which helps the woman when she cannot. But now, when it comes to the man who cannot, we are denying that help. I think that is I therefore oppose this.
You also oppose the same. So, honourable members, allow me now put the question to clause 2, which is that clause 2 on definition of the donor be amended as proposed by the Honourable Shamala. Members, as many as of this opinion say aye, and as of many of the contrary opinion say nay. The nays have it. And so I put the global question, which is that, because we have other clauses, yes. Let's move to definition of eggs and embryo. Next clause. Next.
Definition of eggs and embryo.
I propose a question, which is that definition on eggs and embryo be amended as proposed by Honorable Jennifer Shamala. Please, can you move your proposed amendment?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise to move that the following amendments to the assisted reproductive technology bill on the definition of egg be as stated. Honorable Millie Ojambo's definition in the male bill defines an egg as live human eggs, but does not include the process of fertilization. The statement of the problem is there is nothing like an egg in the process of fertilization. It is a new human being because, as we know from our Constitution and upheld in Article 26(2), life begins at conception. And fertilization of the sperm and egg have united, and in this unification we have what is we know as conception, whether it is in vitro or or normally. An egg means, and my proposed amendment is that egg means a live human ovum.
Very well. With that import, honourable members, I propose a question, which is that definition of eggs and embryo be amended as proposed by Honourable Shamala. Then now I open the floor for Honourable Nyikal.
Well, in fact, actually, there's no difference. The ovum is unfertilized. So it is, normally it would be called an egg, it would be called an ovum. To me, it's exactly the same. Yeah, because what the honorable member is referring to comes next under embryo. Yeah, when you come to embryo, there's that difference. But eggs and ovum, to me, is the same. So I would probably, whichever way it goes for me, it will be okay.
So are you, Honorable Nyikal, are you supporting or you are not supporting the proposed amendment, Honorable Jennifer Shamala?
I would say the ovum sounds more technical and I prefer it that way. It will be clearer.
So you're supporting?
Supporting.
Very well. Let me have Honorable Osoro South Morigaro. Is in the house? Let me have the member for North Imenti, Honorable Dahoud.
Madam Chair, I think we need more clarification on this from the Chair of Health Committee when he says it is the same, but the definition of eggs in the bill, it says means live human eggs, but does not include eggs in process of fertilization. So could you probably tell us more on that? It does now, when it is live human, what Honorable Shamala has proposed, does that even now include where eggs in fertilization does not include?
Very well. Before I come back to the chair, let me hear from Honorable Diambo Akoth, Suba North. Millie?
Chair, I'm not overly opposed to the amendment by Honorable Shamala. I was just wondering, I didn't get the justification for the amendment on embryo, and she has not also referred to us in the order paper, so I'm actually not too sure what we are amending in relation to embryo. If she could kindly, through your guidance, just indicate to us what the amendment on embryo is.
Very well. Let me have Lungari, Member of Parliament, the Honorable Agatia Safula.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to support the amendment by Honorable Shamala. Actually, you fertilize a live egg in the ovaries. that's what she means. So you don't need to further clarification. But I think we are discussing ungodly things.
Honorable Safula, Millie has a right to get justification. Thus, for this matter, let me give to the proposer of the amendment, Honorable Shamala. Please, can you clarify to the members on the import of the definition of eggs and embryo?
Yes,
the emperor
we are on the amendment on eggs, and then there is an amendment that I'm going to bring on embryo. So we are first on. We can deal with the yes.
You're dealing with that.
Eggs, yes.
Honorable Millie, please be on record that you are satisfied on the same.
Thank you, Chair. If we are still dealing with the one on X, that's okay. But I just request Honorable Shamala,
yes,
if she can refer us to the page.
Yes.
Then we move faster.
Honorable Shamala, which page?
Page what, of the order paper of the bill? The order paper 1501, and then I think we turn to definitions 1502.
1522.
Sorry?
Which page is important? You have the... Is it 1522? Because on my record it's 1522, but you must be on record also.
1522.
Honorable
Sorry.
Shamala.
Oh, on my amendments. Okay.
Honorable Shamala, yes.
Sorry, on 1522.
It's 1522. Yeah. So, members, with that import and debate, allow me put the question, which is that clause 2 on definition of the eggs and embryo as proposed by Honorable Jennifer Shamala be amended. As proposed, will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. And as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Definition of father.
Remember, I propose the question, which is at clause 2 on definition of father, be part of the bill. Proposed amendment by Honorable Zuleika Hassan. But before Zuleika Hassan, I will give to the chairperson, and if the chairperson's amendment is carried, then Honorable Zuleika's amendment proposed will fail automatically. Chairperson?
That's the definition of
father.
Let me just get the
definition of father. Chairperson?
1501 on the order paper.
Chairperson should be arising.
Yep. Chair, I propose that clause 2 C be amended as in the order paper. The import of this.
Honorable Chairperson, it's not C, it's E. If I would be guided.
Yeah, it is, sorry.
I'll guide you.
E.
Yes, thank you.
By deleting definition of the father and substituting, therefore, the new definition, father. What this simply, what it means, as we had Allah said, there can be a donor. But as you said, the donor may not be a father. But now we are making it clear that the father will be that maybe at the time that he donated the sperm, he was not married to the spouse, but later on the spouse decides to get married. If they get married, that gives them the power to, that gives them the definition of a father. And basically that's what it is. But you can have donation, donate the sperm, but at that time you are not married. You may not be a father, particularly if you are talking of what we had just passed. But if later on, then you get into a relationship now and get married, then you are now a father. I think that's the import of this.
Very well. Member. Okay. I propose the question which is at clause 2 on definition of father be amended as proposed by the chair. North Ement, do you have interest in this?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I would want further clarification, because we have just passed the donor does not necessarily have to be the spouse. So if the donor is somebody else besides the spouse, does now that donor become the father when there is already a father who is there, who is legally married to the spouse? That needs more clarification.
Very well,
Chair.
I'm aware that it was negative, but let me have the voice of the chairperson. Just clarification, just in a statement, please.
That is exactly what is being contemplated. That at the time that they were getting, they were receiving the sperm, they were not married. Afterwards, they choose to get married. Then that person now acquires the title of the father. Because what we had earlier passed, if in the case where a man was being assisted by a donor, he then cannot claim fatherhood because he was merely assisting. But now, in a case where it is like a single lady who decided to get a donor, and after the event, they get together and now decide to leave, then that man, the donor, acquires rightfully the title of a father.
Very well. With that, the Honorable, let me hear, Sangok David, with that explanation from the chair.
Chair, I really respect the chair, Dr. Nyikal, but I don't see the reason why we really need to even define this. Must we continuously murder the Queen English? There is the biological father, there is the father, and then there is the heavenly father. So why do you have to define that it is the father who donated and get married, instead of leaving it like that, so that in an event that we can explain as a biological father, because whether he's a donor or whatever it is, they remain to be a biological father, whether they will be married or not married.
Very well. So with that, I know. Let me hear from Honorable Saudi Mungirango. The Honorable, yes, is consulting. Then we got Nyando. You have not put your card. You have placed your card. Then, okay, give him the mic. Yes.
Well, I thank you. I thank you, Madam Speaker. Of course, there is the biological father, who in this case is the donor. But there's the legal father. And I think this, the import of this is to put more strength on the legalese or the legal standing of the father. But even in the African context, and that is why when we are making laws, we must recognize our traditions, our cultures, and the way we have lived
Point taken.
As a nation.
Point taken. Merely the last one, and I put the question.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Chair, I want to agree with Honorable Jared that this actually recognizes the legal father, and which is both biblical and cultural. That biblically, even if you married, you took over your brother's lineage, the children are still yours, not your brother's. So there is a legal connotation to it. But what it basically does, it says that because there are people who donate their sperms without even knowing who they donate to, they can't be the legal father. So we are clarifying who the legal father is. There must be some sort of arrangement. Either he was married to the woman and they agreed to the assisted reproduction, or he was a sperm donor but who has married the woman after that. So there must be very clear conditions under which you acquire legal fatherhood. So there's a difference between biological and legal fatherhood in assisted reproduction.
Very well.
And I support.
Your support. I'm sure those with the debate for the members, we can be able to make a decision as a House. And so I put the question, which is that clause 2 on definition of father be amended as proposed by the chair. Honorable members, will as many as of that opinion say aye? And as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
definition on gamete.
I propose a question which is that on definition of gamete be part of the bill. We have an amendment by the chairperson, please. Let's move your proposed amendment.
Chair, this basically just clarifies that we are talking of a mature sperm or egg capable of fusing with the gamete of the opposite sex to produce a fertilized egg. It's critical. You can't do anything else. So I think this basically makes clearer and very succinct.
You say a mature sperm?
Yes, they are immature ones. When it starts in the testes, they develop. And if they come out early,
yes, then
you can't really use them. So this must be a mature one.
Very well. On that, members, with that import, I propose a question which is that on clause 2 on definition of gametes be amended as proposed by the chair. Shamala, Honorable Jennifer.
Again, I'm seeking a clarification, Chair. We are now on the amendments for gametes. Does that mean we have left embryo out? Because I had a proposed amendment on embryo. Oh, it was passed, sorry.
It was passed, okay. It was on definition.
Okay, it went along with the eggs.
Yes, okay. Yes, it was passed. Okay. But thank you for your concern. Yes, Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
I just want to seek guidance from the chair. I can see both from the chair and also the health committee. I can see there is a proposed amendment on the gametes by Shamala.
Jennifer.
And Chair, I was very good in social sciences, not biological. So maybe they can clarify to us, because Honorable Shamala is seeking to introduce eggs to the definition of gametes. And if that be the case, that biologically it's actually correct, then the chair can consider adopting the definition also by Shamala, or dropping his, maybe if they can look at it and see, so to strengthen the bill, Chair. Because the chair, the proposal by the health committee only refers to sperms, but the one for Shamala also refers to eggs. I guess there must be a gender equality even in eggs and sperms, I guess.
Honorable Millie, thank you for being very observant. In fact, it is true that the two amendments are not the same, and you can only convince the chair. Honorable Shamala, you can only convince the chair either to drop or to adopt your proposed amendment. Yes, it's either of the two. Otherwise, if as a matter of procedure, if the chairperson's amendment is carried, then the amendment by Honorable Shamala will.
Shamala is on which page? 15 or? Let me go and see.
1522, Chairperson. On 1522. And of course, put into account the request or the observation from Honorable Millie Odhiambo. Honorable members, as the chairperson gets ready, the proposed as the amendment, Chair, you are proposing that you delete the definition of gametes and substituting thereof the following: that the gametes means mature sperm or egg capable of fusing with the gametes of the opposite sex to produce the fertilized egg. That is the committee proposed amendment. And of course, why Shamala is proposing that we delete the definition of gametes and substitute therefore with the following new definition, which is that the gamete means a mature sperm from a man or a mature egg from a woman capable of fusing with the gametes of the opposite sex to produce an embryo.
Chair, let me say the difference is actually simple. In the committee one, we are assuming that sperm is from a man and the egg is from a woman. Honorable Samala insists that that must be stated. And then she's using the word embryo to mean fertilized egg, which is more or less the same thing. Let me say, I prefer Honorable Samala's definition. It's more clear, and I think in law, you don't want to leave an area where somebody would come with a sperm whose species of origin we don't know. So I don't know, you will guide me on how to make that change.
So, Chairperson, are you dropping?
Yes, I am dropping.
You're dropping your proposed amendment.
In favor of Honorable Shamala.
Honorable members, so it is on record that the chairperson of the committee, Honorable Nyikal, has dropped his definition on the gametes, and now we go to Honorable Shamala to propose amendment. Honorable Shamala, your proposed amendment? Now that the chairperson has lead.
Thank you, Chair. I propose that the new amendment do read that gamete means a mature sperm from a man or a mature egg from a woman capable of fusing with a gamete of the opposite sex to produce an embryo.
To produce an embryo. Your input on that? What is your input? Just in a statement?
It is my input on that is because there's nothing. It is very, very clear that we are taking an egg from a male, a biological male, and a biological female. And it's mature sperm from these clearly identified sexes of a male and a female. Because, Honorable Chair, in a fertilized egg or a gamete, in the process of fertilization, the egg is fertilized into a unique new human being formed and is neither a sperm nor an egg, but actually human life.
Very well. With that, honourable members, I propose a question, which is that Clause 2 on definition of the gametes be amended as proposed by the Honourable Jennifer Shamala. I move to put the question, which is on Clause 2 on definition of gametes, be amended as proposed by Honourable Jennifer Shamala. Members, as many as of this opinion say aye, and as many as of call opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Definition of parties to a marriage.
I propose a question, which is that Clause 2 on definition of parties to a marriage be part of the bill. We have a proposed amendment. Honourable Jennifer Shamala, please move your amendment first.
Thank you, Chair. I propose to move that the clause be amended to read parties to a marriage means a man and a woman married to each other. I state this, and I know that it has been stated in marriages that are recognized under the laws of Kenya, but international marriages outside the jurisdiction of Kenya are also recognized in the laws of Kenya. But we do have some jurisdictions that have marriages between the same sex or same couple marriages, which we don't recognize in this country. So to bring clarity, the proposed amendment means to further clarify and refine that marriage within Kenya means a marriage between a man and a biological man and a biological woman.
A man and a woman. Very well. I propose a question on members, which is that on Clause 2 on definition of parties to a marriage be amended as proposed by Honourable Jennifer Shamala. 001, Honourable Sankok David.
I think apart from so many amendments that have been carried, this one is the best. So that we be specific that in Kenya we don't recognize marriages between people of the same gender. I think we should be very clear in this one, and let us all support this one. So I support.
Very well, you support. Let me hear from Rahim Dawood, member for North Imenti.
Chair, I agree with Honorable Shamala because when it says husband and wife, they are of the same sex who are called one is a husband and one is a wife, but they're of the same sex. So this one is very specific and it's good.
Point taken. Let me hear from Kitui South. Honorable Nyamai. Before I put the question.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I would like also to support this amendment by the Honorable Shamala, that it clarifies that that is the situation, and that is what exists in other laws, that marriages in Kenya is between a man and a woman. Thank you,
Point taken. Then I put the question, members, which is that on clause 2, on definition of parties to a marriage, be amended as proposed by Honorable Jennifer Shamala. Members, as many as of that opinion say aye. And as many as of a court opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next definition.
Definition of primitive strike.
I propose a question which is that clause 2 on definition of primitive strike be part of the bill. We have a proposed amendment by the chairperson, the committee. Chairperson? Rabonyikal?
Chair, I propose that clause 2G be amended as in the order paper, and to have a clear definition of a primitive streak. This is the actual earliest part of growth of an embryo, and it has to be clearly defined, because in assisted technology, people tend to, there may be danger of people trying to manipulate these at certain stages, so that if this is clearly defined, then that is protective.
Very well, with that input, members, I propose a question which is on clause 2 on definition of primitive streak be amended as proposed by the chairperson. I welcome debate from Honorable Sankok. Just a comment on this.
Yes, this one is purely a medical term, and I think it is very important so that we can protect, because laboratory and science can really sometimes bring things that may not be desirable to all of us. You know what lab can do, can develop a human, a superhuman who will raise the human race. So I think it is good that we define clearly, and I support.
We support 077 GK George Macharia Kariuki, member Fondia. Just a comment.
Thank you, Chair. I am not medic, but I support.
You support?
Yes, I support.
Honorable Jennifer, you have an amendment to this, so I don't know whether you can speak as a capacity of
yes.
member.
Chair, I'm imploring on the Chair for the Health Committee to drop this definition in its entirety. I state this because there is so much debate about this word, a primitive streak. And if we start with the belief, and again upheld in our Constitution, that life begins at conception, then when and where does the primitive streak begin? And who are we? And more so because there is continuous research on this issue, and parliamentary debates, and on religion and science, and over the research on human embryos. The word primitive.
Let me hear from the chair, and I put the question because you still have your proposed amendment.
As I said,
yes, Honorable Chairperson. Maybe just a comment before I put the question.
Why we mean this is you have to clearly distinguish between what is going on in the womb and what is going on in the test tube. But in this case, you are actually talking of when they are stored. So that is what this thing needs to define, because it may not immediately be necessary now, but in the future, when what we fear most is an attempt to manipulate the embryo at any stage of development. So,
very well.
So that is why we think this is important.
Yes. So with that, the chair is still insisting that we is still okay with this amendment. So members, I put the question. And members, we take a vote through yes or no. I put the question, which is that on clause 2, on definition of primitive streak, be amended as proposed by the honorable chairperson of the committee. As many as of that will say aye, and as many as of the say nay. The ayes have it. So with the moving and having the chairperson's amendment being carried, now the Honorable Jennifer Shamala proposed amendment will automatically fall. Next.
Definition of procreation.
I propose a question which is that on clause 2 on definition of procreation be part of the bill. We have a proposed amendment by the chairperson of the committee. Honorable Newcall.
That's
by the committee.
They propose that the amendment in clause 2H be made as in the order paper, and what we are, the import of this, we are making it clear, removing terms that are not very specific as facilitated and substituting for the word assisted reproduction technology process. So then if you put the word facilitated, then I think you cannot protect it with this act.
Members, I propose a question, of course, after that import, which is that on clause 2 on definition of the procreation be amended as proposed by the Honorable Chairperson of the Health Committee. I see no interest in this. I put the question, which is that on clause 2 on definition of procreation be amended as proposed by the Chairperson of the Health Committee. As many as that opinion say aye, and as many as that opinion say nay, there is it.
Definition of surrogate mother.
I propose a question, which is that on clause 2 on definition of surrogate mother be part of the bill. So we have a proposed amendment by the chairperson. Please move it.
Yes, just a moment.
Chairperson to move the proposed amendment, which is on clause 2 on definition of surrogate mother.
Chair, this is basically language. Chair, we have to take our time and be quite clear. These things have great implications. This is based on matter of English. There was just an omission of the word for. Because if you look at the bill to term, then another woman under surrogacy, without the word for, that whole definition has no meaning.
As a matter of English, as you say, of course, it really carries a lot of weight. But even after your proposed amendment, we still have an amendment by Honorable Shamala. But in the event that your amendment is carried, then Honorable Shamala's Jennifer will fall automatically. I propose a question of members on clause 2, which is that on the definition of surrogate mother be amended as proposed by the chairperson, Honorable Newcall. I see no interest. Yes, Honorable Shamala. Jennifer?
Chair, I just wish to state that in as much as I support Honorable Newcall and the Chair of the Health Committee, I wish this proposed amendment had been enhanced. And my proposed amendment was surrogate mother means a woman who has consented to carry a pregnancy.
Are you proposing your amendment? Or
no, I'm not proposing. I had wished that it could have been enhanced to take, and I'm not here to shine for myself. We're here making legislation for the people of Kenya and for all of us. And I really wish, and I would have appreciated if it could have been a more encompassive definition of the word surrogate mother.
Very well. You're on record. I'm sure you also, being a member of parliament, the chairperson, Health Committee. I have Honorable Emilio Diambo.
Chair, I think the concerns by Honorable Shamala has actually been taken into account by other amendments that we have already passed.
Very well.
So even if it is not carried,
yes,
I think she's been a very strong soldier for the church here. And the issues that are of concern to the church have been carried.
Very well. And she, of course, is on record of our wish on our proposed amendment. But because of procedures, allow me put a question, members, which is that on clause 2, on definition of surrogate mother, be amended as proposed by the chair. I put the question, because I see no interest to this, which is that on clause 2 on definition of surrogate mother be amended as proposed by the chair. As many as of the opinion say aye. And as many as the honorable say nay, members, the ayes have it. So with that, the proposed amendment of Honorable Jennifer Shamala falls automatically. Next.
Definition of treatment service.
I propose a question which is a no clause 2 on definition of treatment service be part of the bill. We have proposed amendment by the chairperson, Honorable Nyikal. Honorable Nyikal, you have a proposed amendment for the committee on definition of treatment service.
Chair, this basically is replacing what would be just lay language and make it more technical and saying pregnant women and just saying to carry children. To carry children doesn't necessarily mean pregnant in everyday word use. So I think it's just to be specific in this one.
I propose the question on a clause 2, members, which was the definition of treatment service be amended as proposed by the chairperson on behalf of the health committee. Ramabilio Diambo, your comment on this?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just wanted to ask the health committee to reconsider the amendment, because if you say treatment services to help pregnant women, how is treatment service helping the women who are not pregnant trying to get pregnant? Because this is assisted reproductive technology. It's about assisting people to get pregnant. So if we are treating the ones who are pregnant, who is assisting the ones who are not pregnant? Who is treating the ones who are not pregnant? This is about people who are not pregnant. So when you include the word pregnant, you are actually excluding, going against the very purpose of the bill. So if I could just ask the chair to reconsider or recast the amendment so that it takes care of pregnant and the ones who are struggling to get pregnant.
Chairperson,
Chair, I must be flexible here and say that she has a point that what means we need further amendment.
Further amendment.
And the word would be to assist women to get pregnancy and carry to term. I think that would then...
Honorable Chairperson, it's a further amendment, so you must be very clear on it. So because the current amendment which you are proposing is to on the definition of treatment service, which is by deleting the words women to carry children and substituting therefore with the words a pregnant woman. So which is a further amendment that you're making in consideration on Romilio Diambo's?
I think here we have to recast, yes, because what we are doing, we are actually assisting women to get pregnant and also to carry those pregnancy to term. I'm just looking at it's something I think we may need to recast, as he's saying, because as it is now.
Can you consult with the chair in a minute?
Let's consult.
Just consult in a minute, and then you let us understand what you as they consult, because this is a law-making house. We don't want to make laws that will not be fruitful to Kenyans. Let me hear from Ramsongog.
I think the chair was correct. And
the chair was correct?
Yes, and I don't think we need really to recast this one or to rethink about it, because it is replacing the word a woman to carry children, substituting it with a pregnant woman. Literally, whatever they meant by carrying a child was actually pregnancy. So in other definition, there are also those who are being assisted to get pregnant in the process, but in this, the woman carrying a child was actually meant to mean a pregnant woman. So I don't think it will it will diffuse the meaning of assisting women to get pregnant. So I think, Chair, we don't have to reconsider this one, Chair. And Honorable Millie,
so
understand it is just a replacement of a woman carrying a child with a pregnant woman, because you can't carry your child on the back. But we are talking of those who carry their children in the womb, not on the head. You have carried on the head, I know, but we are talking of those who have carried using their womb. And when they are carrying using their womb, then it is pregnant.
Honorable you're right. You cannot carry a child from your back. Of course, I thank God you're not a woman. Let me hear from Honorable Millie Odhiambo. She's a woman.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I actually want to tell Honorable Sankokon Authority that women who do assisted reproduction cannot carry in the stomach. Somebody else will carry for them. So like me, if I decided to have, I will carry it in the heart, not in my womb.
Not in the back.
Yes. So, but I might also carry on my head.
On your head. Very well. Let me hear from the member for Ndia.
Thank you, Chair. I want to agree with
This is
the
a very
Chair.
serious bill, honorable members.
Yes, I want to agree with Chair that we go by the amendment, a pregnant woman, because as my colleague Sankok says, carrying a woman carrying a child,
yes,
is a bit vague. It can be misinterpreted.
You can
So let's go by a pregnant woman. That's what we know.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
That's very clear.
There we are, the honorable member for Ndia. So let me hear from the chairperson, but I can see he's consulting. The Honorable Nyikal. Honorable Nyikal, are you agreeing on carrying a woman to carry a child and substituting it with a pregnant woman?
No, Chair. What I would like to recast, let me explain, and we need time. What we are doing is to help women who cannot get, or couples who cannot get babies, to get babies through assisted technology. That is basically what we are doing. If you then say to assist
a pregnant
woman, you have actually excluded, you have not helped, because that is exactly what they wanted. Now you're just going to assist them when they already have, but they don't going to have because they can't. So what I would like us to do is the purpose of assisting women to carry pregnancies, to get pregnant and carry the pregnancies to term. It means now they get pregnant, you assist them to get pregnant, you assist them during the pregnancy until it goes to term and the baby.
So are you propose any further amendment to your proposed amendment on treatment service?
Yeah.
Yes, Honorable Chair, please, so that we move faster.
So what I'm proposing is after the word, after assisting women, then we now said to get
after women to carry children.
No, we delete carrying children.
We delete carrying children.
Then after women, we say to get pregnant and to carry the pregnancies to term.
And carry pregnancy?
The pregnancies to term. Because we have used the plural women, I think we now must have the word pregnancies to term.
So with that, honourable members, allow me propose a question for further amendment to definition on treatment service on clause 2, which is that the further proposed amendment by honourable chairperson be carried or the proposed amendment be part of the bill, or the amendment be taken as proposed by the chairperson, the further amendment. Members, we are dealing with the further amendment. The chairperson has already proposed the further amendment. I see no interest on this. Honorable Kitui South. Honorable Kitui South, on the further amendment.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Yes.
On the further amendment of carrying to term, I think it is extremely important because the purpose is procreation.
Yes.
It's only about pregnancy, but about carrying to term. So I support the Honorable Nyikal.
Very well. No, the menti, and then I put the question. Honorable Dawood? No, you're well. Then we have Honorable Duarte, member for Gatanga. I can see you have a request to speak to this. Then with that, yes, he wants to speak to the other proposed amendment. Honorable members, with that, I put the question, which is that on clause 2, on definition of treatment service, be further amended as proposed by the Honorable Chairperson of the committee. As many as have been say aye, and as many as have been say nay, the ayes have it. Next.
New definitions in regard to 1. Assisted reproductive technology expert. 2. Assisted reproductive technology services. 3. Commissioning parents. 4. Cryopreservation. 5. Diagnosis. 6. Directorate. 7. Embryologist. 8. Embryology. 9. Endoscopic surgery. 10. Infertile or subfertile client. 11. Infertility. 12. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection. 13. In vitro fertilization. 14. oocyte. 15. Pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. 16. Pre-implantation screening. 17. Surrogacy.
Very well, honourable members. I propose the question on clause 2, part B, on new definitions to be introduced as per the alphabetical order, which is at number 1, assisted reproductive technology experts. 2, assisted reproductive technology services. 3, commissioning parents. 4, cryopreservation. 5, members, diagnosis. 6, directorates. 7, embryologists. 8, embryology. 9, endoscopic surgery. 10, infertile or subfertile client. 11, infertility. 12, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. And 13, in vitro fertilization. 14, oocyte. And then 15, pre-implementation genetic diagnosis. Then with 16, pre-implementation screening. 17, surrogacy. Be part of the bill. The mover to move the same for second reading, and the mover is the chairperson of the Health Committee.
Chair, I move that clause 2K be now read a second time by inserting the new following definition in the proper alphabetical order. Chair, to take
as
us
in the order paper.
as in the order paper,
Yes, very
and Chair,
important.
it would take us a very long time. But what these parts mean, these are definitions in this area that make it specific for everything you say that is being done. There's a clear definition in law, so that should there be doubt, then the people who are going to practice in this area are guided by this. Failure to do this in this complicated area will mean people will come with their own areas of doing things, which they are doing now because there is no law. That is the import of this, Chair.
Very well. With that import, honourable members, I propose the question, which is that on clause 2, part B, on new definitions to be introduced as per the alphabetical order, that as per the order paper from number 1 to number 17, be amended or be now read a second time. Honourable Billy Adhiambo.
Chair, thank you. I do support the amendments and thank the committee for these excellent proposals, which are very technical. Chair, my experience even in moving this bill is from not giving birth, but the experience is in the technical expertise. So I bring the natural experience of not giving birth, they bring the technical experience of health. And I think it actually adds value to the bill, and I do support.
You do support. The last one, let me have Honorable Dao. You want to speak on this?
I support.
You do support. Members, I put the question, which is that on new clause 2B, clause 2, part B, on new definitions to be introduced as per the alphabetical order, starting from number 1, 2, 3, 4 to 17, as per the order paper, be now read a second time. As many as are going to say aye, and as many as are going to say nay, the ayes have it. I propose a question, members, which is that on clause 2, part B, on new definitions to be introduced as per the alphabetical order, and that is as proposed by the committee chairperson, from number 1, number 2, 3, or through to number 17, be part of the bill. I see no interest to speak to the second contribution of this. Then I now put the question, members. I now put the question, which starts on new clause 2, on part B, on definition to be introduced as per the alphabetical order, from number 1, that is assisted reproductive technology experts, assisted reproductive technology services, 3, commissioning parents, number 4, cryopreservation, number 5, diagnosis, number 6, directorates, number 7, embryologist, number 8, embryology, number 9, endoscopy surgery, 10, infertile or subfertile client, 11, infertility, 12, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, number 13, in vitro fertilization, number 14, sites, number 15, pre-implementation genetic diagnosis, 16, pre-implementation screening, implantation screening, and then 17, surrogacy, be part of the bill. As many as of that have been say aye, and as many as of a contra been say nay, members, the ayes have it. Next.
New definition in regard to 1, adoptive father, 2, adoptive mother, 3, biological father, 4, biological mother, 5, ministry.
I propose the question on clause 2 on new definition, which is that on the definition of adoptive father, adoptive mother, biological father, biological mother, the ministry be part of the bill. Then I call the mover to move the proposed amendment. Honorable Shamala, you have a proposed amendment on the same. Honorable Shamala, you have a proposed amendment. She has left. On insertion of new definition of adoptive father, adoptive mother, a biological father, biological mother, the ministry. So with that effect, Honorable Jennifer Shamala, being not in the house, or maybe she's consulting at this point, then the proposed amendment, I order that it is dropped, and that is assumption that you are taking. I now put the global question, which is on clause. Members, I now put the global question, which is on clause 2, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as of this opinion say aye, and as many as of a contra opinion say nay? All members, the ayes have it.
title.
I move the question, which is that the title be the title to the bill. Members, we have no appropriate to the title. And I'll put the question to the title, which is that the title be part of the bill. Well, as many as of the opinion say aye, and as many as of the opinion say no. Members, the ayes have it on the title.
Clause 1.
I propose a question, which is that clause 1 be part of the bill. Members, we have no proposed amendment to clause 1, and I therefore move to put the question to clause 1, which is that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as of this opinion say aye, and as many as of a contrary opinion say nay. Members, the ayes have it. Members, now we are through with the Committee of the Whole House on the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2019. And now we do move the reporting. I call upon the mover to move the reporting. Honorable Emilio Odhiambo.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2019, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Very well, honourable members. Thank you, Honourable Emilio Odhiambo, for moving the reporting. Members, I put the question for reporting on the same, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2019, and disapproval thereof with amendments. Members, as many as of this opinion say aye. Aye. And as many as of a corner opinion say nay. Members, the ayes have it. All right, members, interest of time, we are going to move to the next bill on Committee of the Whole House as per your order paper. Let's get ready to move to the next Committee of the Whole House as per the order paper. And this is on the Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 70 of 2019 by the Honorable Sylvanus Osoro MP. Members, you get ready to move to the other bill as we change the order, members. There is a point of order from Honorable. Are you speak on behalf of Honorable? Sorry, Honorable Sankok 001. You cannot represent Honorable Osoro in the House, MP. Honorable Osoro will speak for himself, and you can also not be the speaker or the chairperson. But we have an intervention. I know you're always watching, every member. Honorable Onyango Osoro, member for South Mugirangaro.
South Mugirango, Honorable Chair. Mugirango.
The representative of the people of Mugirango.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes, Honorable Osoro. You have a point of order?
Yes.
On the Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill.
Exactly.
Which we are getting to the Committee of the Whole.
Exactly.
Yes, let me hear from you.
I seek to withdraw the Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment of 2019 under Standing Order number 140.
Understanding Order number?
140.
Understanding Order number 140, which I purpose to read for the House. Honorable Sylvanus Osoro MP wishes to withdraw. You want to withdraw on number 141?
140.
140.
Yes.
Members, for the sake of the public and for the sake of the answered, on order, standing order number 140, withdrawal of bills, either before the commencements, which is in order of the business, or none on the order of the day for any stage of the bill being read, the member in charge of a bill may without notice claim to withdraw the bill. So for this matter, I have to give the leeway to the member. What is the reason for your withdrawal?
I need to seek further clarity and further consultations from other sources, and I'll revert back, of course, to standing order number 118 later. But for now, because of further consultations, I felt it wise to withdraw for now, because even the Committee on Administration had proposed deletion of all my proposal. So it really requires a bit of some further consultations.
Very well. At least you are in record. Having listened to the honorable member for Saudi Mogirango, as a chair, I am satisfied that the withdrawal, which is subject to standing order number 114, that the member has withdrawn his proposed amendments and is on record on the Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 70 of 2019. You want to convince him to, he has already withdrawn. Honorable Millie Odhiambo, the member has withdrawn. Let me hear from Millie. He has already withdrawn. You don't need more clarification. Millie Odhiambo, yes.
Yeah, Chair, just wanted to know, because we are in the committee of the whole House.
Yes.
Now that he has withdrawn his amendment, does his bill die? Or what happens to his bill?
It has been withdrawn.
Because then we just need your directions. Does his bill die? Or what is happening to the bill?
The bill has been withdrawn.
Oh,
his proposed amendments, all his proposed amendments, he has already indicated seeking. If he wants, he'll do it in a different version. But as far as the committee of the whole House, as for now, and the member, who is the Honorable Silvasa Sosoro MP, has indicated to the House on record that he has withdrawn all or his proposed amendments to the Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill, National Bill. So the bill remains as it is without the proposed amendments, because they are withdrawn. Let me hear the chairperson again. Not the chairperson. Let me hear Honorable Silvasa Osoro.
Chair, we are in a learning process, and I take consultations from my senior colleagues who've been in the House for some time, and I wish to reconsider. I don't know whether I'll have room for such, so that we proceed.
Honorable member, just express yourself again. That's a very important point.
I had said that upon further consultations from seniors in the House, I felt to reconsider. I feel like I should reconsider my withdrawal and perhaps seek for, so that we proceed with the bill.
And you? In a nutshell, Honorable Osoro, maybe in future, as much as it's provided for in your standing order, on standing order number 140 on withdrawal of bills, I wish this one you did it before it even came on the order paper. But let me use my discretion that I allow Honorable Osoro to do more consultation, and on committee of the whole House, I move to number 3. Yes, Honorable Sankok.
Chair, you know, we came very early so that we can deal with this alcoholic bill by Honorable Sylvanus Osoro. And it is really very disappointing when it was being withdrawn, because we know what is happening in our country. We have a problem of alcoholism. So I think we should also be told, express, was he only withdrawing from the committee of the whole house, meaning the amendment? That means the bill remain, but not in an amended form, or was he trying to kill the whole bill? Because if that is the import where my good friend, Honorable Osoro, is going to, then I will plead with him that we continue with this bill. And I plead with you because you have already said we are moving to the committee of the whole house number 3. I think it is good for us, because some of us came very early, that we continue with this one, because it was just a temporary hiccup, a temporary interruption. And then we go on with this one, because it will save even the issues that we are facing in our schools. It will save the issues that we are facing, because this bill is very important. And don't be convinced, and don't be lured by whatever the Committee of Interior Security or whatever. We need to make good laws for this country, for the benefit of our citizens, especially the lower cadre of our citizens, the hustlers. And you are one of them. And we really need to be we really need to be strong on this. No, Honorable Wanga, I'm not talking to you, Honorable. I know you will be a governor, and you want to govern people who are not alcoholic. I'm sure of that. Yeah, you want to. No, you are a governor. You are a governor. We have agreed that, and you know even hustlers are voting for you. So, Honorable Chair,
Honorable Sankok, many times that you are so irrelevant. Please, can you stick?
Okay, let me stick. So I withdraw.
Yes,
I withdraw.
Just be relevant. Let us not.
Let me withdraw.
Yes, withdraw.
I have withdrawn, Honorable Wanga. I'm sorry for that. So,
of course, Wanga, if she become a governor, that is fine. She's fit to be a governor.
Yes.
But now, please always be relevant.
So you wanted me to withdraw that Wanga will be a governor, or so anyway. Let us move on, please.
Order members, Honorable Sankok 001. But you like catching the speaker's eye. We have no issue with you, Honorable Wanga. But this is a very serious matter before the House. But it's important for us always to be very relevant, so that at least we can put our doors together. So relevance is very important in the House. Other members, I was just, let me hear from Honorable Wanga before I make my determination the same. Of course, I had already stated that.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes.
Honorable Chair, I just wanted to support Honorable Osoro's position to retract and get his bill back on track, because whatever he was doing exactly, we didn't understand, because the bill is his. So what exactly is he withdrawing at this point? So maybe the bill should just proceed, so that the amendments at the committee, because I don't see the committee here.
Very well. Members,
the bill proceeds.
Very well. Members, Honorable Wanga, that is Honorable Sylvanus Osoro, MP, proposed amendment on the Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill, National Assembly, Bill number 70 of 2019, which, as far as I'm concerned, it seems not to be so decided on way forward. And again, as a matter of fact, he should have withdrawn it by writing to the Speaker or to the House Business Committee on time for it to be withdrawn from the order paper. And I saw due order from where I sit that the Honorable Osoro Silvanus MP, you go and reconsider and write in you write to the Speaker of the National Assembly or the Clerk of the National Assembly as the procedure provides you to do on the withdrawal. But this one I'm doing it as per the standing order number 140, that even after withdrawal of 143, that a bill that has been withdrawn, they may subject to standing order number 114. Honorable Osoro, I'm sure you're listening, and you may introduce it and republicate it or be introduced again. So as far as I'm concerned, because of the statement of the member, the reasons that he has, the bill on a committee of the All House, as per the order paper on number 2 on Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 70 of 2019 is deferred. It has been deferred. So we move to number 3 on the committee of the All House of members on the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2020. And this is by Honorable Rahim Dawood MP.
Clause 2.
I propose the question, which is that clause 2 be part of the bill. We have a proposed amendment by Honorable Gladys Wanga, CBS MP.
Thank
the
you,
proposed
Honorable
governor of Sankok.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you also for the prayers.
No, that's not part of the bill. I was just trying to, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I beg to move that clause 2 of the bill will be amended as per the order paper. I have a variation to the amendment after consulting with the Honorable Dawood. So in part 1A, the committee had decided to actually delete the bill because the amount was too high, but we have consulted with Honorable Dawood and agreed that we keep the amount at 500,000, which is the current amount anyway, that you can be reimbursed in case of collapse of a bank. And then, so I would like to keep part A, but I'd like to drop the amendments of B and C.
Honorable Wanga, are you moving the proposed in an amended form?
Yes.
From the proposed amendment?
Yes.
So it's a further amendment?
I'm making a further amendment,
yes,
which is to drop B and C of my amendment. Because B speaks to...
In B?
Yeah, we are proposing to delete... B is
yes,
proposing to delete B in the bill.
Yes.
That B is speaking to the timeline within which you should be reimbursed or given back your money or compensated.
And C?
And C is speaking to the penalties in the event that you're not reimbursed or compensated within that timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of deleting them, we've consulted with the Honorable Dawood. We'd like to retain those two clauses.
And retain.
In which case, we are only going to remain with part A of that amendment.
So the part A is what you're proposing.
I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that clause 2 be amended as proposed, further amended as proposed by the Honorable Gladys Wanga, and to be on record that we are retaining the proposed amendment on A and proposing to retain B and C with as per the consultation with the Honorable Dawood. I open the floor. Yes, Honorable Dawood.
Chair, I want to thank the Chair of Finance, Honorable Wanga. and we have consulted on reducing the 1 million to 500,000. It was very difficult, but we had to do it because of the way things are in the country at the moment regarding Treasury and the other people. But I'm glad that the chair has dropped B and C in favor of what was proposed in my bill. So I support, and I implore my colleagues to support as well. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. I now, members, and this is important. I put the question, which is that clause 2 be further amended as proposed by the Honorable Gladys Wanga. As many as of this will say aye, and as many as of our opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
I propose the question to, and we are on the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, members, which is National Assembly Bill of number 43 of 2020 for record. I propose the question, which is that the title be the title to the bill. Members, we have no proposed amendment to the title, and I move to put the question, which is that the title be the title to the bill. As many as of that opinion say aye, and as many as of a court opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question, which is that clause 1 be part of the bill. Our members, we have no proposed amendment to clause 1, and I therefore move to put the question, which is that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as of this opinion say aye, and as many as of a court opinion say nay. Members, the ayes have it. Our members, we are through with the committee of the whole house on the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2020. And now I call upon the mover to move the reporting on the same. The mover should be Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2020, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Other members, I put the question for reporting, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2020 up to no. Just a moment. Members, maybe put the question for reporting, because we already through actually the bill. It was just a very short one. We dealt with clause 2, title, and clause 1, and this is for reporting, which the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2020, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many as of this have been say aye? And as many as have been say nay. Members, the ayes have it.
Honorable Speaker,
Order members, we have the report of the Committee of the Whole House, and we will start with the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2019. I now will call the chairperson to report to the House. And for this matter, Honorable Sankok.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2019, and approved the same with amendments.
Very well. Then with that report to the House, I call upon the mover of the bill to move agreement with the report. Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Nyikal to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Nyikal for seconding? You do second. Members, I propose a question for adoption of the same, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. And members, for this matter, I want to defer putting of the question on the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2019. Members, we move to reporting of the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2020 on the Committee of the Whole House. And so I call upon the chairperson to report to the House on the same. Honorable Sankok.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2020, up to clause, and approve the same with amendments and seek leave to sit again.
The chairperson, you must, this is a House of Record.
Yes.
You must read read the right one.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2020,
yes,
and approved the same with amendments.
And approved the same with amendment. Thank you, Chairperson, on that reporting. And so I call upon the mover of the bill to move agreement with the report. Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, and I also request Honorable Governor Nangabo to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
We have no governor in this House. Of course, if your governor proposed governors are for the counties, but if she's going to become a governor, being a led, I think also, I don't want to say I support, but yes, honorable member.
Thank you, Speaker. I second. But I will be the governor.
You'll be the governor. You seem to have convinced the Honorable Dawood. I don't know, it's a new name or it's your baptismal name, Governor? But of course, governors are not, but I'm sure we are in there. All right, members, then now I propose a question for adoption. Members, I propose a question which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said reports. Again, I want to defer the putting of the question on the Kenya Deposit Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2020. Next order. Next order.
Order number 16, the Pension Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 26 of 2020, second reading.
Honourable members, this is a resumption of debate which was interrupted on the Wednesday, November 10, 2021, the morning sitting, and we had a balance of 1 hour and 35 minutes. And this was from Honorable Didimas Baraza MP. We are on the second reading. So I give the first shot to the Honorable David Sankok if he had not spoken to this. Allow me also consult, because honorable members, as far as our standing orders are concerned, members, we don't speak twice to a bill. So the request having Honorable Ole Sankok, David, you spoke to this, and so you will not speak to it. Then can I have Honorable Millie Odhiambo? My record says that you did not speak to this, and you on request wanted to speak to this.
Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I think this is a very straightforward bill that seeks to make it easy for pensioners to get their money timely. A lot of people have died out of frustration after they've left jobs, and because we know there are very serious medical health issues, any facilitative process to enable pensioners to get their pensioners fast and very easily is welcome, and I do support. Thank you.
You do support. Let me have the, now the member is his request. Let me have, before Honorable Dawood Rahim, I can see he was consulting with the clerk. Let me have the member for Trans Nzoia. The member from Trans Nzoia, Nagabo Janet, Honorable.
Asante Madam Speaker kwa kunipa fursa hii kuongelea mambo ya wale wamestaafu katika nafasi mbalimbali katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nataka nimshukuru Mheshimiwa Didimas Barasa kwa kuleta mswada huu katika bunge hili, ndiposa wale wamestaafu mahali waliko wapate nafuu. Mheshimiwa Speaker, unaweza kuona kwamba kuna watu wengi wale walikuwa wanafanya kazi na wakastaafu, aswa kama walimu na wale walikuwa wanafanya katika idara ya post office. Unaweza kuona watu wa railway mpaka wakati huu Mheshimiwa Speaker hawajalipwa zile nauli zao ama pesa zao za kustaafu. Na iwapo tutakuwa na marekebisho haya ya kuhakikisha kwamba wale wanastaafu wanapata haki yao, itakuwa ni vyema Mheshimiwa Speaker, kwa sababu wengi wanaumia sana na wengi hata watoto wao wengine hawaendi shule. Haswa ukikuja hizo sehemu za kule Trans Nzoia, unaona kwamba wengi wale wamestaafu Mheshimiwa Speaker, wengi wanaumia na wengine wanamaliza kukua na changamoto tele, na mwishowe wengine wanaamua kwenda kwenye vinywaji Mheshimiwa Speaker, wakipoteza maisha yao. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nataka niongelee shirika la Telcom kwa sababu nilikuwa mmoja wao katika shirika hilo Mheshimiwa Speaker, na watu wengi wale walistaafu Mheshimiwa Speaker mpaka wa leo wengine wamepoteza maisha yao kwa sababu ya maisha duni ile wanakaa nayo ndani mwao. Mheshimiwa Speaker, wengi wameamulia tu kwenda kukaa kwenye kuna vinywaji, na mwisho wanapoteza maisha yao na watoto wao hata hawaendi shule Mheshimiwa Speaker. Na inakuwa ni haibu sana kuona kwamba mtu amekuwa kama mwalimu mkuu wa shule ama amefanya katika idara ya Telcom mahali penye nilikuwa Mheshimiwa Speaker, na unaona watu wanaumia mno. Iwapo tunakuwa na haya, hii mswada huu utasaidia watu wengi na hao watu watakuwa na nafuu. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nataka niongelee kuhusu hata serikali ya counties. Ninakumbuka kwamba nilikuwa hata kansula enzi zile, Mheshimiwa Spika, na ukiona wafanyakazi katika municipality ama wengine walikuwa katika county councils, Mheshimiwa Spika, wanaumia kwa sababu hawakupewa pesa zao zile walikuwa wamefanyia kazi, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na mimi ninaona ni vyema iwapo hii mswada unaenda kurekebishwa, itasaidia watu wengi wale wanaumia huko nje, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na mimi nafikiria iwapo tunaweza kubuni maeneo ya kupeleka hizi fedha kwenye hao watu wanatoka sehemu zao, Mheshimiwa Spika, itakuwa ni jambo mzuri mno. Nashukuru Mheshimiwa Spika, na namshukuru Mheshimiwa Didmas Barasa. Asante Mheshimiwa.
Very well.
Annual Devolution Conference is back. The conference will take place from 23rd to 26th of November 2021 at Makueni Boys High School, Makueni County. The theme of the conference is Multi-Level Governance for Climate Action, with the sub-theme Subnational Mobilization in Unlocking the Full Potential of Climate Action During and After Pandemics. The conference will be officiated by His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya. To register as a delegate or exhibitor, visit www.devolutionconference.cog.go.ke or call 0718 242203.
walikuwa ni
technology in the broader context of operationalizing research steering committees. This is also being implemented. The issue of affordable housing agenda, you all do know that it's being implemented at the moment. And the issue of civic education, that is also underway in all the counties. Excellency, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, let me sincerely thank my brother Governor Kibudha Kibwana and the County of Makueni for hosting this year's Devolution Conference. Your hospitality and commitment to the preparations has been exemplary. Let's all have fruitful discussions and let's enjoy our stay in this great county of Makueni. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and be blessed.